Hello everyone, welcome to this another video of this channel. I'm Abhishek Verma and today you are watching another video of our Spring Data JPA series. In the previous video, we saw that how we can fetch the entity with the help of primary key. And for this, Spring Data JPA was providing us the default method. In today's video, we will see that how we can fetch the entity with the help of other fields of the entity class. And believe me, that is also going to be very simple. If I wish to give you an hint, then I can only tell that the code is going to be just one liner and that's it. So without wasting any more time, let's directly get started. So now we are in our IDE and as always, first of all, let's do a quick recap what we saw in the previous video. So in the last video, we made demo 4 and if I take you in this UML diagram, so you can see that we were having a demo class. Then in the last video, we were only having the owner service. There was no need of the pet service that time. Then within the owner service, we were having the implementation class also. And then we were having the owner repository. So this owner repository was extending the JPA repository and hence we were automatically getting the methods like findAll where we can provide the pageable as well as the sorting object. Besides this, we were having the owner mapper. Then as always, we were having the entity classes. So owner entity class, pet entity class, both of them are having one-to-one relationship, which is bidirectional. Under pet, we were having domestic pet and the wild pet. Inheritance was there. Then for the primary key, we were having the ID in the base class. Then there was no separate table for the base class. Then beside this, we were having the enums for gender and the pet type. To the UI, we were returning the DTO classes and there we have implemented everything with the help of Lombok. So you may see that, okay, these are very big builder classes, but internally it is just a simple Lombok. Now, beside this, we were also having an input util class from where we were taking the input. Now, since last time, basically it was only the reading and that also the reading, if I take you somewhere here, that is in this particular one input util. So you will see here that we were only fetching the owners. So we were not interacting as such explicitly with the pets. So hence there was no need of the pet service IMPL or the pet repository. But in today's video, we will need all those things. So for today's video, you will see there will be a separate pet service also, pet service IMPL also. Then pet repository is also going to be there. Pet mapper is also going to be there. Then exceptions also are going to be there, the owner not found exception, pet not found exception, and some other methods are going to be there. So let me take you here. So this is demo 5. Again, as always, as of now, there is no change in the pom.xml, no change in the properties file. Again, we are having the messages.properties file here. And this time we are having 3 messages. Can't find owner with owner ID, can't find pet with pet ID, can't find owner with pet ID. Okay, why do we need something like this? I will tell you very soon. Now, if I take you somewhere in this particular part, so here we go, this one, input util. So here you can see that for today also we are having only 4 operations. First one is to fetch the owner details. Okay, now before we do anything, you can directly tell me in the comments how we are going to perform this. Okay, so in the last time we did it that we were accepting the owner ID and then we were fetching it from the database. So this was happening. Then we are having fetch pet details. So that also in the same way. So for this we are having owner ID to operate and pet ID to operate. So these will be the input and then we will be getting the output. But then still there is something new for today. Yeah. Then moving on with the next part. So here today we will again make one more method where we will be fetching the owner by the initials of the first name. Okay, so we will be just providing some initials. So let's say my name is Abhishek, so we will say AB. Then with AB we see that there can be many names. There can be Abhay, there can be Abhijit, or there can be something like this. As of now other names are not coming, but so many names are there. So this we will do. Also another thing is we will say fetch owner details by the pet ID. So this is going to be again something interesting we are going to do. So these options are there. For accepting the initials, we have created one method here and it is just going to take a string. Then we will take it here. From here you again see we are having all these 4 cases here. Case 1 is to find simple owner, second one is to find pet, then next one is to find all owners by the first name initials. Okay, so this way it is there, and the fourth one is to again find owner by the pet ID. So this way it is going to work. So we are having this owner service, and then we are having this pet service also available to us. In the owner service we are having 3 methods. In the pet service we are having 1 method here. From here, if we go to their implementations, so let me just take you here in this particular part. Now here you see that currently, I mean, we are getting some kind of errors in these methods. Okay, now why there is this error? Because you know that by default Spring Data JPA is not going to provide you any method like this. Find by first name starts with, okay, so this method is not being provided by Spring Data JPA. Neither it is going to provide you this method like this, find by pet underscore ID. I mean, why should we even make with this underscore in Java? In Java we don't follow snake case approach. Instead we are going to follow the camel case approach. So why do we need this? And other one, you see find by ID. I mean, this was so common method. Then why is this one giving us error now? Okay, so these are some of the reasons. In the pet service sample, it may feel that okay, it is working fine, but still here also we are going to make some change. So today you will see that there is going to be some change in the repository interfaces. Currently both the repository interfaces are empty here. Okay, but before we see that how to make some changes in the repository interface or how to resolve these issues in the service sample, we need to read a bit of theory. So first of all, let me take you to the presentation, and there I have only 5 to 6 slides only, but believe me, it is very, very important for you. Then we will again come back here and resolve these things. Yeah, but the thing is, the job is very, very simple. We just need to perform 4 simple operations. So now let's move to the presentation. So first of all, let's see what were the default query by methods we were having. So if you know, we were having one method like this, find by ID. We were automatically getting it from the JPA repository. This ID which you see here is going to be the data type of your primary key. It can be integer, it can be string, depending what you write in the JPA repository, I mean that particular place. And this T represents the return type. So it is basically the entity data type here. Okay, so optional is something which is like this way it is going to work in Spring Data JPA. Then the other one was find all. So this find all was returning you the complete list. It was not accepting any input. So by default, basically for finding, we were having only these 2 methods. But the question is, let's say we are having a class like this owner, where we are having first name, last name, gender, city, state, mobile number, email ID. Then we have pet. Within the pet also further we have so many things. So it's not always possible, or it's not always convenient that we always keep on finding by the ID. Sometimes I just need to find by first name, last name, or maybe something else. Yeah. Then what needs to be done? Do I need to now create methods for all these things, or still there is any shortcut or any something simple? Okay, let's see. So Spring Data JPA says that in this kind of a scenario, first of all, the easiest method is that you can create custom query by methods. Now what do we mean by custom query by methods? It says that you can follow this approach. You can create a new method which should start by find by. Okay, so this should be the prefix. This star represents the parameter by which you want to find. Then within the brackets, currently you see that okay, it is empty, but actually we need to pass something. Okay, and obviously it will be having a return type. Return type can be a list, return type can be optional, return type can be simple entity or anything. Yeah, so one option is this. Another option is if you say okay, I don't like the word find by, you can say get by. That is also fine. Star, brackets and everything means the same thing. And third option is read by. So these 3 options are there, and you need to follow this case only. Like you can't make B small, F capital or something like that. Okay, so these 3 options. Now let's see that how we can use it for our owner entity class within our owner repository, because obviously in the owner repository you need to write this. And again you see here with the JPA repository we have written the owner entity, and the integer is the primary key data type here. Okay, so first of all, let's see for the first name what we can do. So as simple as I told you, you can say find by and then you pick the parameter name. So it will go like this, find by first name. Now since you are writing it in method and this way, so to make it readable you need to make first letter capital here, first name. Then since here you are saying find by first name, so obviously from the user you want to have a string. Okay, so that string we are taking here, and just to make it more readable, we are saying here first name. Yeah. Now for this first name, let's try to understand. If there is a database and the first name is Abhishek, now for Abhishek is such a common name here. If I will search by the Abhishek name here, then it may happen that I can get single person also, I may get multiple persons also. Okay, so because of that particular reason, we are returning here list of owner. So this is the only reason here, guys, because while making such methods, you need to keep in your mind that whether this method can return a single value or multiple values. In case, let's say that you wrote here only owner, okay, but in your database in future someone added 2 person with the same first name, so what will happen? Your method is going to fail in future. Okay, so looking towards the future also, you need to make your method fail safe. As of now it may work fine because you are having only 1 person with this first name, but in future it can be multiple, so that way also you need to take care. Otherwise there is no hard and fast rule, it's your wish what you want to return, but you can return only the full entity. Next one is find by last name. Again the simple rules. Okay, so what I will do is I will assign, one this find by to 2 parameters, and then this get by to next 2 parameters. So this same find by last name, because last name is also very common here. Yeah. Now next one is gender. So for gender by, here we are making usage of get by, but again there is no hard and fast rule as such that for gender you will use get by, for that you will use find by. I'm just making some different permutations and combinations. Yeah, but the main point to see is when we are saying get by gender, so here we need to pass a gender argument only. It is not possible that here you say get by gender but you pass something different like integer or something else. Okay, that won't work. Again we have only 2 genders, male and female. There are so many owners with male, there are so many owners who are female, so again we need to return a list only here. Then next one is city. For city, the point you will notice is, see here I am making usage of string name, and that's perfectly fine. So only this name matters, that this name with the method name should be similar to your variable name or your field name. Okay, this argument name can be anything different. The only part is data type need to be correct. So again it needs to be string. So here you can't say that okay I want to get by city, but in the argument I will provide a gender. Again that won't work. Okay, so this thing can be anything, but I hope that you will agree that this thing looks more readable. Okay, so it's better you write here city. Yeah, only for the showing purpose I'm doing like this. Then next one is state, so I can say read by state, so that way also it is going to work. So now you can see which one looks more better. Okay, so this for me I feel find by looks even much more better and easier also to read. Okay, not other two. Then till now we see that okay these were common things, so it were returning a list. Now next one is mobile number. Mobile number, if you remember when we were creating the owner entity class, at that time only we said that mobile number needs to be unique. So if mobile number is unique, that means that in that particular table either this mobile number will exist or it won't exist. That means for this mobile number there can be either 1 owner or 0 owner. So hence we are returning an optional here. Okay, because this time I'm very sure that there can't be multiple owners with the same mobile number. So that's the reason of returning it as optional. Now you may say that okay Abhishek, we don't want to return the optional, we want to return as it is. So that also can be done. So for email ID you see again it was unique, but this time we can return only owner. So that way also you can do. So you can return a list, you can return optional, you can return the entity as it is. The only thing which you should take care is that always think what kind of variable you are working with. If you are working with a kind of a field which can return multiple output, multiple rows in future, not only for today but in future, then always go for a list. If you feel it can be only 0 or 1, go for optional, because that is more better, so that someone in the service layer can make usage of Java 8 features, lambda and other things, instead of returning owner and then they need to do a null check. So it's always preferred to go with the optional. Otherwise there is no hard and fast rule. If you wish and you find that owner is better, so that is also, it's your choice, your code. Next, so now let's do the same activity for this pet class also. Again it is going to be almost same, and you may say here that okay Abhishek, you didn't work with the pet. We will come to it very soon. Yeah, but as of now let's go to the pet. For pet also again it is going to be very simple. We can say find by name, Okay, so simple find by name here, and this is going to return a list of pet. Now see, this return type can be same as this return type only. Here you can't return owner, that you are interacting with the pet repository and then you are saying return an owner, so that is not going to work. Okay, next is get by gender. So same again, I'm just making usage of permutations, combinations, so again a list. For type also, again it is going to be a list only. This way it is working fine. Again you will say that okay Abhishek, you haven't worked with the owner. We will come to it in the next slide. Okay, just wait. But one more small thing. Now you remember that I told you we are having the domestic pet as well as the wild pet also here. Yeah. Now in the domestic pet we have a parameter something like birth date, and in the wild pet we have a parameter like birthplace. Okay. But point is, you can't make usage of those two parameters in the pet repository because they were not mentioned within the pet table or the pet entity class. They are mentioned within the domestic pet repository. They are mentioned within the wild pet class. Okay, in that particular way. So those things you can't make usage here. If you say no, I want to still find by birth date, then you need to create a separate interface saying domestic pet repository extends JPA repository, and then that particular way. If you say I want to find by birthplace, then you need to say wild pet repository extends JPA repository, and that particular way. Yeah, other thing is fine. Other way around you can go, that in that particular domestic pet repository or wild pet repository you can find by name, gender and type, because these options will get inherited, and I hope that is fine with us. Okay, I mean this is normal Java inheritance, so that is going to work, and this I want to highlight here. Now let's move here. So this time you will say that okay Abhishek, you have already explained find by, get by, read by. We have already worked with owner, we have worked with pet also, and this also we have seen that owner repository we can have something like this. So now what's next? So the next is, now let's say within the owner repository I want to find the list of owner but with the pet name. So I am within the owner repository, but with the help of pet name I want to find. So what I will do, because directly name variable is not available here. So what I can do is I can say like find by pet. So this pet word is coming because of this variable, and then this name variable you directly appended here, find by pet name. Same way you can say find by pet gender. Same way you can say find by pet and then this particular type. So this way again you can do. But there is a small problem in this one. And the problem is, let's say that in future, due to some XYZ reasons, in your owner class, you add a variable like this. Now you will say that okay Abhishek, this is not within the class. Okay, I mean just to highlight that okay we added it later on, I have done it like this. Okay, but just try to understand. So in future we have added a field, a column, something like this, and the name of that particular field is pet name. Now what will be used for this particular method? When you say find by pet name, will it make usage of this particular variable or will it make usage of this particular variable? Okay, what you can do is you should pause the video and you should tell me in the comments whether is it going to make usage of this pet name which is directly in the owner, or is it going to make usage of this name which is in the pet class. Okay, I hope you have given me the answer till now. So the correct answer is, in case if there exists a direct variable something like this, then find by pet name will choose this one only. So then this one is going to be chosen, not this name. So this also means that this is not a good way and more readable way of writing it, because here it gives a confusion that okay, what I can assume is that okay within the owner class there must be some variable directly with the name as pet name. Okay, but that was not the case. So as a good practice we should write something like this, find by pet. So which simply says that okay in this class you are having a pet, and then in the pet class you are having the field as name. So find by pet underscore name. That's why you see this underscore. Okay, so in our code also we have one example something like this. Okay, so here I mean you may say that okay Abhishek, this is not as per the good practice, but still here we don't need to worry about the snake case and camel case approach. Here the main goal is to make it more readable. Now you tell me which one of them is more readable. This one you may feel, I mean from here what you will feel, that okay variable name is first name. Here you may feel variable name is pet name. Here it will be very clear that okay first there should be some pet, within the pet there may be something like name, and this way you can do. Like in normal Java we navigate with the help of dot operator. Here we are navigating with the help of underscore. Rest other things are going to remain same. Okay, so this was very interesting. Next, the next one is there are some more custom query methods. So till now we were just simply saying find by first name, find by last name, and that's it. Okay, but there are some more variants also, which was not possible to cover everything within the code. So I just thought to make these some more extra presentations for them. We will quickly go through them and then we will move towards the code. So just now you saw that we were having a very basic method, find by first name. We can provide the first name and it will simply search by the first name. Very simple. But there are two more variants of it which will do the same job. You can say find by first name is. So you can make usage of is here, or you can say equals. So any of them you can use and that will mean the same thing only like first name. Yeah? Then next one is, let's say I want to search by two arguments. Then what to do? So then you can say find by first name and. So you can make usage of and operator here and then you can say last name. Again, it can be anything. It's not mandatory it will be first name and last name only. It can be first name and city. It can be first name and state. It can be first name and mobile number, something like this. Okay, so that way you can do, and there can be any number of arguments. I mean, it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's your choice. Okay, I mean, how much more bigger method you can make, that is your choice. The only thing is that this time, since you are accepting, you are looking for two things here, here also you should be passing two things, and automatically it will map that okay, this first variable belongs to the first thing, second variable belongs to the second thing. That way it will work. Same way you can make usage of or also. So and operator, or operator, I mean, then it is going to be basic SQL only. Okay, then there can be an option like a distinct. So many times when we write a SQL query, we say we only want the distinct elements. So that way we can write. So in that case, we will just say find distinct by. So this time distinct word will come in the starting. If you are making usage of get, you will say get a distinct by. If you are making usage of read, you will say read distinct by. Then next one is like. So sometimes we make usage of something like percentage in between sh and then percentage something, that kind of like query we say. So you can make usage of like. So this like word you add at the end, then you can have like not like also. So this is going to work here. Next one is starting with. So you can say starting with. So like in my case, I will be making usage of initials. So I can say starting with. Okay. Many times if you just want to say ending with, so you can say ending with. So that way it is going to work here. Then next one is containing. In between of the name you want to have something, so you can say containing. Here I forgot to make n capital, but it needs to be capital here, n. Okay. Then next one is order by. So by default, you know that okay, last time you remember that we learned something like order by, sorting, and those things. Okay, but for that we need to provide a sorting parameter as such. There is one more way also. That other way is you can simply say find by and whatever is your main criteria, that criteria you need to pass here also. Then you can say order by, and then you can say which thing you want to order. So it is possible that you want to search by the first name, but then you want to order by the last name. So that way we have done order by last name in the descending order. If you won't mention ascending descending, by default it will be ascending. Yeah. The next one is not. So you can say find by first name not, where it is not, or it is again like not equals. Okay. Then you can say ignore case. So by default, whenever you will say find by first name, it will ensure that case is exactly same. So if you are passing Abhishek with A capital, but in database it was A small, then it is not going to match. It won't return you the output. So then you can say ignore case. So it will ignore everything like capital, small. So you don't need to do any other kind of thing in your Java. You just need to tell ignore case. Simple. Next one is null. So sometimes you want to see that okay, I mean currently in our database it is not possible that last name can be null, okay, because all fields are non-nullable. But many times you just want to search that okay, if that particular field is null, then only return you. So you can say is null, or you can say null also. I mean both of them are going to be same. Whether you say is null or null, they will be same. The other option is not null. So either you can say not null or is not null. Again it is one and a same thing, that it will only return you when not null. These four things we can't currently do in our code because all fields are by default non-nullable. Yeah. Then next one is in. So this time what I have given is that in my argument I will give a collection or a list of pet type. That okay, in my database I know it can be a cat, it can be a dog, it can be a fish, it can be a rabbit, it can be a bird. 5 pets are there, but I just want to find all the pets whose pet type is cat and dog. So I will pass cat and dog as a list in this particular one, and then it will say find by pet type in. So only cat and dog will be provided, and the reverse will be not in. So except cat and dog, everything will be provided. So that is not in. Next. So next one is that we are having something like birth date, but currently we won't be able to play with it directly because we haven't made domestic pet repository. But just to show you what we can play is, we can say find by birth date after. So after this particular birth date. So here we can provide a date. So all those pets whose birth date is after this given date, they will be listed out. The next one is birth date before. So all those pets whose birth date is before, they will be listed out. Then you can even give a range. So you can say find by birth date between. So that way also it is going to work. Local date, then you need to pass 2 dates, start date and the last date. So that way it is going to work. Then next is there can be some integer also. Again, this criteria is not in our code as of now, but this you can give. So you can say, let's say there is some integer age. Okay, so you will say find by age, then you can say less than equal, greater than equal, something like this you can write here. Okay, I forgot to mention this arrow here, that's why it is looking bit weird, but you by now I hope this is third slide, so you must be getting the point. Yeah. And the next and the last one is this true and false. So let's say that in your entity class there is some variable which can only take true value or a false value, where you want to say whether these owners are active or inactive. Okay, so field name is going to be active. So let's say the field name was active, so we will say find by active. Now we don't need to pass it as an argument that okay, boolean true or boolean false. We can simply say true or false, because when it is true false we know that it will take only 2 values. So that time we don't need to pass it as an argument, and directly we can say true or false. Okay, so this way when we are making usage of query by methods, we are getting so many options here. And the main point is you need to use them like that way only. Like here you can't say that okay, I will say after before together. I mean that is not possible within a single method. Okay, so some rules you need to follow. The variable names you can change accordingly. Now let's go back to the code, and out of all these we will only see 4 of them in our code. Yeah. So now we are back in our IDE guys, and as you can see now these 4 are going to be easier for us. So the first one was press 1 to fetch owner details, and we know that it is going to take us somewhere here, find by ID. But why this is not working? This is not working because generally when we say find by ID, it should be returning optional. But here what I want is I want to directly get owner. But we know that if we will make usage of the findBy method which is provided by Spring Data JPA, that will always return me optional of owner, not the owner directly. So what I can do is I can make this method there. So I'll just do a copy and I will go here. So what I will do is I will say here owner, that's my return type. I can say here find by ID, and here I can, okay, not there, and let me just come back here. Okay, so here I can say int, and then I can say owner ID. Okay, I mean it can be a normal int, no need to be integer. If you wish it can be integer, it can be int, both are going to work fine. So what we are doing, so this time we are not using the method find by ID which is provided by the JPA repository. Instead we have created our own, where find by is the is initial prefix, ID is the variable name within the owner. Now you will say that okay, within owner you don't have anything like this. Within owner we don't have, but within base we have. So from there we are getting guys. Okay, so that is perfectly clear here. And in the argument we are providing the owner ID. The output we are saying owner, because we know that owner ID is unique here. So we are returning owner, and now you see that this is going to work fine for me. But the only point is that now since I'm not making usage of the optional, so I need to use the null, is null or something like this. If you are making usage of optional and all these things, then you don't need to worry all those points. Yeah. Next one, let's go back here. So the next one is find by press 2 to fetch pet details. For this we need to go to pet service IMPL. Now for the pet service IMPL you will say that okay Abhishek, this is working fine. So here we don't need to do anything, but we can still do. if we wish. I mean, no one is going to stop us. So what we can do is, I will take you here in this particular one, and we can still make it. So we can say optional, and we can say pet, then I can say something like this, and here I can say int, and then I can say pet id. So this way, if you wish, you can still write. So this find by id, now you will see that, okay, what is the benefit of writing it? Because we were by default getting this method from the JPA repository. It is just like unwantedly we have written, but still this is going to work. The only point is that since you have written now, then the one which you were getting from the JPA repository, that is not going to work anymore. Now this will be considered. Yeah, the thing is you are returning optional of pet. Yeah, now you can see the difference. When you are returning optional, you can make usage of these things, lambdas and streams and all other things with the optional mapper and everything. But when you don't return optional, then you need to place something like this. Hence, that's why it is always said always return optional. Yeah, and also it is not a good practice that, okay, find by id is by default provided to you, then you are again writing. I mean, I'm just showing you this part. Yeah, next one is fetch owner by the initials. Okay, initials of the first name. So let's try to do it. So we will again go here. Now this time from the UI we will be accepting initials only, and now I want to have this method. So what I will say, find by first name, and see I'm making usage of starts with. Okay, so this only I need to write. So what I will do is I will copy it. So I will copy it from here. I will take you to owner repository, and I will say something like this. In the argument, I will just accept a string, and here I will say first name, just to make it more readable. I can say anything. Yeah, now the return type. Now how many owners? Can I just simply say owner? So something like this, and believe me, this is going to work. Okay, so there is nothing wrong in writing this kind of code. There is no compilation error. But I know that in my database there can be multiple owners whose initials are same. And what if I just say that, okay, find all the owners whose name will start with capital A? There will be so many. So as a good practice, I should be returning a list here, something like this. So now we are returning a list instead of a simple owner, and automatically it will understand. So here automatically it will understand it needs to return single owner. Here automatically it will understand it needs to return a list. Now what if you passed a name but that doesn't exist in the database and nothing? It will return an empty list, as it is simple, nothing much to worry. Then next one is find by pet id. So let's see. Now again, why we need to do something like this? Because within the owner we don't have any option to get the person with the help of pet id. So here we will say pet, and then we are saying id. Yeah, so this way we are doing. Let me again go back here. So this I will copy from here, guys, and I will take it here, and yeah, I will do it something like this, and this time it will be pet id. Yeah, so this way this is going to work. And again, as you know, this time it can give you a single owner also. So because again owner IDs are unique, like owner IDs, pet IDs, both are unique. Yeah, but just to make it more better, I will be returning optional of owner. Okay, just to ensure the best practices, I will say Control Shift O. So this way it is going to work. If you wish, you can make it this also, like pet ID. But now someone may who will just look it very quickly, they may feel that, okay, within the owner class there was a variable ID, there was a variable first name, there was a variable pet ID, but there is no variable as such pet ID directly. Instead there is a variable pet, within that there is a variable ID. So that we are mentioning here, and see that easy it was. Yeah, so this way we are able to work. Now let's quickly execute the code and see how the things are going to look like. So I will take here to this particular one, and this is demo number 5. So let's try to execute it. I hope I have already passed the environment variables. If I'm not wrong, I don't remember it. Okay, so here it says that, okay, URL and something like this. Yeah, see, always again it just keeps on blaming to the dialect, but the main problem is that here today I have forgot to provide the username and the password. Okay, so that was the main thing, and somewhere on the starting it must have mentioned that, okay, yeah, here it says that, okay, it is making usage of MySQL username. Okay, I forgot to pass, so let me just quickly pass on here. So we will go to this open config, and here we will go to this environment. Here we will say add, and yeah, this is the one. So we will say root. Now let me copy this word only, MySQL, and we will again add one more. So we will do this, and here we will say password, something like this, and here we will say root. Yeah, so this way, apply and close. So this way we can do. Now let me just again run. Now some of you may say, okay Abhishek, isn't it possible that you are making so many demos? So can't we just mention in one place and all the demos are going to make usage of it? The point is that, see, in reality, you are not going to make usage of multiple demos. You will create only one project. So it's not a big job, and it's something very important. So you don't want to just copy paste blindly or anything like that. Yeah. So now we are getting these four options. So first of all, let me say 1. Let's see whether it is working fine or not. So let's say 20. So if I say 20, see, this 20 is working fine. And this time it is because of the method which I have written, not the by default method. Okay. From output, you won't see anything much, but you know my feelings. Yeah. Then next one is 2. And this time you see that this method also we wrote on our own. So this one is also working fine as it is. Okay. Nothing wrong in this particular one. Next one, we will again say y, and this time let's say 3. Or first of all, let's say 4. Okay, because 3 1 is going to be a bit more interesting. So for 4, this time we need to give the pet id. Now interestingly, in our case, owner id and pet ids are in sync, so nothing much to worry. And yeah, this one is also working fine. But you see that this time it has made 2 queries. Okay, because this part was not something directly. First, it is trying to search by the pet id, a particular data, and then more data related to the pet and other things it is trying to find. So hence 2 queries. So that's why we don't want to make unwanted methods also sometimes. Okay, so whenever you are making the methods, you need to take care. Yeah. Next one is 3. So this time it says the initials, but the point is I have forgotten which all names I have in my database. So let me just quickly say A as of now. Let's see what is the output. So when I say A, I'm getting 10 owners. And what you can verify is that all their first name is starting with capital A. Andrew, Alexander, Aya, Andrew, Avery, Orbe, Avery, Eva. Okay, so these names are coming here. Let's again try to give a Y, and let's search for this 3 again. This time, what is coming to your mind? Let's say I. I'm not sure whether there is any name or not. Okay, so with I, there was no name, so it told me there are 0 owners, and that's perfectly fine. It is actually giving me some output that okay, there is no owner, and that's good for my case. Yeah. So this is how things are going to work here, guys, and today we have learned query by methods. In next video we will again learn something new, but before that you need to like the video, share it with your friends, comment something that okay, you have started watching and you have finished this video. Beside this, you need to subscribe to my channel, you need to follow me on Instagram also, and you need to connect with me on LinkedIn also. Just send me a connect request and I will accept it. Simple. So bye bye.